The company secretary is quite a unique position. We're talking about the human body. I like to equate it to the neck because they stand between the board and the management being the body and the board being the head of it all. The secretary is now known to be a strategic leader. Strategic leader in as far as the secretary should be able to influence the board into doing the right things, but not in the manner of probably the CEO who then shows that, yes, I have achieved this. The secretary is a background person. You do your groundwork quietly, person to person, to make sure so that there is good dynamics within the board. The company secretary's role to ensure that that board is running well. Corporate governance is a responsibility of the board, but it is the secretary's responsibility to ensure that the board is carrying out good corporate governance practices. So you look at things like board composition and procedures and practices. When there is a board meeting, it's the secretary to ensure, first of all, you have an agenda, and then you give the board sufficient notice. You give them well-packaged board papers, not these huge volumes which you bring on the meeting on the day. They need to be given ahead of time, and then not too much information, and then minutes are well written, and the secretary has to ensure within the minutes the actual decision of the board, the action points are recorded, because the board's business is carried out in the boardroom. That's where the board operates. The secretary is also in charge of monitoring the dynamics in the room and notifying chair. For instance, if there is a board member just seated, secretary should be, they sit next to the chair, should be able to point out to the chair, maybe talk to this director. He may have a good point, but it seems like he's doing all that. So there's that. Then the company is called the conscience of the company as well. You know, the conscience, usually I like to equate it to when we are children, you are told you have an angel and a devil on your shoulders. The devil is telling you do this which may not be correct, but then the angel says don't. Make sure what you're doing is right. That's the company secretary's role. The secretary may be in trouble for that because usually you are in senior management. You know exactly what's happening. Sometimes you know how it is that the management may want to deceive the board. It is the responsibility of the secretary. One of the eyes of the board in management is the secretary. The responsibility of the secretary to make sure the information the board gets is the right information. There's another role, talent manager. The secretary needs to be very keen on what is the composition of the board, what are the board competencies, what is missing, which kind of board member do we need. The secretary must ensure that the board members recruited are inducted, and then performance management, annual board evaluation, and there the secretary also becomes a consultant because evaluation is supposed to be carried out every year, but it's only after 3 years that you need an external person. So the internal one will be carried out by the secretary.